I'm not sure if this is going to be an unpopular opinion. I'm not sure how this video is going to land, but I have these thoughts and I actually want to get them out, and I actually want to post this video because it's that important to me. So I'm just going to get right into it. You can read the title, you can see what I'm about to talk about, but I wish that we could live in a world where men could admit that something bothered them, that they are sensitive, that they are feeling insecure, that they're feeling let down. And I wish we lived in a world where men could express themselves and people would see that as a strength and not take what they're saying as something that is negative. I feel like there's a lot of power that comes from being able to express yourself and being able to let people know how you feel. And I think we do men a disservice by not allowing them to have that opportunity to speak on the things that are bothering them and the things that are hurting them, or the things that are letting them down, or the things that are disappointing them. There are so many situations that I've been in lately where I have realized, or I have identified, that men are feeling sensitive and they're getting their feelings hurt, or they're feeling a way that they can't put into words. And instead of them trying to put them into words, or instead of them acknowledging that they feel hurt, or that they're feeling sensitive, or they're feeling insecure, whatever the word is, they just don't say it. And it comes out in anger, or it comes out in silence, or it comes out in removing themselves. And I think that as a world, we're doing ourselves a disservice by not allowing men the opportunity to actually state how they feel and state what they're going through. And I think it does us a disservice as the world, because we're missing out on a man's impact. We're missing out on men's ability to express themselves. We're missing out on understanding them better. We're missing out on making sure that we're giving them the space and treating them how they should be treated. And we don't often hear from them when they are sensitive. But if we do hear from them when they are sensitive, they often get dismissed, and they often get, made fun of, or people talk about the fact we're like, oh, don't be sensitive or whatever, as if it's a bad thing. And because we're not allowing men to be sensitive, or we're not allowing men to get their feelings hurt and to acknowledge it and to speak it, used to seeing the retreat so often that we consider the retreat as normal. And that is what is sad to me. I wish that men were allowed to be sensitive and allowed to get their feelings hurt, and that we would acknowledge that as a human reaction and not deem them weak because they were able to express themselves. I also am going to say this. This might be a terrible thing to say, but I feel like the problem is, if we allow men to express how they're feeling, and we allow men to be insecure, and we allow men to be human, because all of those thoughts are humans, people think that we're trying to take away their masculinity from them. And that's not what we're trying to do. We are simply trying to give them a voice. If you are a man listening to this, or if you are a woman who has relationships with men, has friends with men, have brothers and things like that, take a second and think about a world where you are able to express yourself and not get knocked down for that expression. And you're able to actually open up and to actually feel what you're feeling, and not feel like you have to press it down, and not feel like you can't feel that way. I wish we lived in a world where men felt comfortable. Maybe I should say where more men felt comfortable expressing sensitivity, expressing their frustrations, expressing themselves in ways that we could better understand them, and so that they could better understand each other. Because I believe insecurity and vulnerability is the absolute best thing we have as humans. And it's something that we can all relate to. If somebody comes to me and says, this certain thing is making me feel vulnerable, or this certain thing is making me feel insecure, I understand that emotion. I understand what that means, and I understand that feeling. And so I'm able to understand them or relate to them in a way that makes sense. I wish that we allowed more spaces for men to do that. I don't, everywhere, in any situation, I just wish that there were spaces for men to feel sensitive about something, to feel triggered, to feel something, and to be able to say it and express it, and that we wouldn't condemn them for feeling that way. So again, I don't know how this video is going to get received. I don't know if anybody's going to listen to my message, or I don't know how people are going to feel about this, but as a woman, I wanted to share out my thoughts because I feel like we would have a much better world if men were included in it more often, if we created soft spaces. Soft is going to probably trigger some people, but if we created a space where men were able to feel a way and not be judged for how they were feeling. That's what I'm trying to say here. So again, this message is going to land with some of you. Some of you are going to be watching this and you're going to say, I know exactly what you're talking about. Some people are going to be watching this, and just the mere fact that I even made this video, some people are going to be triggered, and some people are going to say, not all men, not all. I got it. I'm not saying all of anything. I'm not saying, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I wished we lived in a world where more men felt comfortable expressing feeling sensitive, or feeling hurt, or feeling let down, or just having those negative feelings. Because for some reason in this world, men, it's almost like we've told men that they're not allowed to be vulnerable. We've told men they're not allowed to be insecure. So when they actually show those emotions, some people see it as a negative thing. And I think that is a terrible, terrible way to go through life. And I don't think we can evolve as humans if we're telling certain groups of people that they are not able to feel and they are not able to do the things that make them human. So hopefully some of you will receive this with the right intentions and understand what I'm trying to say. I just wish that the world was actually created equal. And I wish that there were some things that we could actually allow people to grow from and lean into, because I actually think it would help us all to understand each other a little bit more better if there weren't like these individual, or if there were not invisible barriers that we are putting up for people that are really impossible for you to overcome. So that's just my thought. If you are somebody listening to this and you understood my message and you understand where I'm coming from, I just want to encourage you to try to lean in a little bit. If you're in a group of guys and you start talking about your feelings, pay attention to how many other guys in that same group will actually open up and start talking about their feelings as well. It's like we have to kind of be the change that we want to see. And if you're in those spaces where you can help bring this conversation to the forefront, like let's do it. Like I'm trying not to sound like too therapy or whatever, but I just want everybody to have a space where they can be themselves, share out, feel comfortable, feel loved, feel valued, feel supported, even if that means you're feeling vulnerable, even if that means that you're feeling insecure, even if that means that you're feeling sensitive or your feelings are hurt. That is okay. We're human and those feelings are normal. So I hope that you take this message right. If you don't, I tried. But if you do take this message right, think about what you can do to help make somebody else feel a little bit better than they already do, or to really allow them the space to have feelings towards you, because you don't know how much you're impacting the world in a positive way if you give somebody else that outlet that maybe you might need, or maybe they actually need at the time. They're just waiting for the person to give them the space. So I will get off my soapbox. I hope this lands with somebody, because I think it's really, 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 really important. And I live in a world where I think that men need to be encouraged and men need to be supported and men also need to be validated. And so I just hope that this video lands in the space of all of those things, no matter what you are, what you're doing, or whatever. I hope this lands in the fact of we all deserve to be loved, supported, valued, and all those things. So I will stop talking, but let me know what you think in the comments below. Hopefully we're on the same page. If we're not, let's talk about it in the comments below.